When you disrespect Kamala Harris by saying you will call her whatever you want, I know you don't intend it to be that way. That's the history and legacy of white disregard for the humanity of black people.
Oh, so now you're calling me racist.
I didn't say. I just said you weren't a racist.
That is complete.
No, you don't have to intend racism to accomplish
you are intending that
your disrespect of Kamala Harris is part and parcel of a tradition of disrespect.
Why can't you just, Congresswoman? Why can't you just?
I'm not calling you a racist. I'm telling you what the practice is.
You are. You absolutely are.
No, what's disgusting is your disrespect of her.
Professor.
What's up, YouTube? Hope you guys are feeling good. My name is Eleru, and today I'm back to the video and check out with you guys. This is called Lefties Losing It. Kamala tries to speak without an auto cue. Now goes, guys. We talk less and we react more. Let's check this out.
Good evening and welcome to a program devoted entirely to lefties losing it.
She just has fun doing
Let's
this.
start lefties with this almighty group meltdown on CNN because Nancy Mace allegedly mispronounced Queen Kamala's name. Watch this demented carry-on.
And
right.
Kamala Harris, if
Kamala,
Kamala,
you said this.
We're not calling you Nancy.
It's Kamala. You're doing this on purpose, Congresswoman.
That's disrespectful.
You can't expect people to
If
respect
a
your
man
service
put on
if
a
you don't
skirt
respect
and walked
hers.
that stage 25 years ago, she
You're a
would have
white
said
woman
she would have
disrespecting a
taken
black
that
woman. That is
achievement away from women.
Professor
That's
Dyson,
let me get in here because
Did you hear that? He said you're a white woman disrespecting a black woman. Why? By calling her the name everyone has called her for years, decades. How long was she in public life before we were told that her name should be pronounced differently? And can someone alert the president because he's still pronouncing it this way?
And Kamala are here today to make a major announcement on the rest of the lower.
But back to the mass meltdown on CNN. Look at the reprehensible way they treat a lone conservative woman, a woman who carries the trauma of being a rape victim and who showed far more grace than I'd be capable of facing this barrage of lunacy.
When you disrespect Kamala Harris by saying you will call her whatever you want, I know you don't intend it to be that way. That's the history and legacy of white disregard for the humanity of black people.
Oh, so now you're calling me racist.
I didn't say. I just said you weren't a racist.
That is complete.
You don't have to intend racism.
You just said
to
it.
accomplish
You are intending that I am
Your disrespect of Kamala Harris is part and parcel of a tradition of disrespect.
Why can't you just, Congresswoman? Why can't you just?
I'm not calling you a racist. I'm telling you what the practice is racist.
You are. You absolutely are.
No, what's disgusting is your disrespect of her.
Professor, she doesn't know what a woman is. And if 25 years ago,
white women don't have the ability to tell black women who paid the price of blood to make this country what it is to tell them they're not real women.
25 years ago.
They care for your babies.
Just a hysteria and hyperbole there. There's much more of that
Over-pronunciation.
madness, but I won't subject you to it because this next bit is even better. Remember Don Lemon? Before CNN sacked him, he's back doing vox pops and being laughed at by the good folk in Jersey and Atlantic City. First, he tries to shame Trump backers by suggesting they're sexist.
Who do you support?
Trump.
I plead the fifth.
Trump for the win.
Tell me why.
I can't really call that right now, but I just feel like she's not good for president. She's good vice, but not for the actual lead role for the country.
Does it have anything to do with being a woman?
No. No, because I feel like women, nah, you're not going to give me that.
Your money's on Harris.
Yeah.
Who do you want?
Trump.
Why don't you like Harris?
Oh, she doesn't have any experience.
She's the vice president. She's a senator.
Yeah, no experience. No.
It doesn't get any better when Don talks to women.
Well, I want Donald Trump. I just feel we need somebody that has a stronger background with the military and the world in general.
She was a prosecutor and an attorney general and a senator and a vice president.
Is it there to learn what voters think or to lecture them about why Harris is better? This next interaction is frankly bonkers.
4 years ago, it was a lot better. I made a lot more money than I do now.
I know you feel that way, but that's not actually what the record shows. The economy is actually better under Biden. No, I'm serious.
Okay, you know what?
No.
Imagine telling a grown man he's wrong about being better off 4 years ago because Don's figures say so. No wonder they laughed in his face. That sort of form will see Don Lemon elevated to the Lefty Losing It Hall of Fame. And here's one last clip from his time in New Jersey.
Trump or Harris?
Trump.
That's who's going to win.
That's who's going to win.
Who you support?
I support Trump. All the people that came to this country legally, it's not fair that they're letting all 10,000 to 15,000 people or 20,000 people here illegally. Did you know Biden was flying them in? Did you know Biden was flying them in?
I got to get out of Atlantic City. Where are we going to next?
Now watch this totally authentic interaction between Kamala Harris and Tim Walz. They won't do any interviews, but they will provide content like this. Here, Tim worries that his white guy tacos, his words, not mine, he worries that his white guy tacos won't be spicy enough for Kamala.
Like I have white guy tacos and
what is
like
that,
black,
like mayonnaise and tuna? What are you doing?
pretty much ground beef and cheese.
That's
and,
okay. Do you put any flavor in it?
No. Here's the deal. No, they said to be careful and let her know this, that black pepper is the top of the spice level in Minnesota, you know.
I'm the first vice president, I believe, who has ever grown chili peppers.
I'm trying to expand my food knowledge.
Oh dear. Now here is the real Kamala in the days before every word was carefully scripted. Now I've heard her say some crazy things, but surely she would never snatch a patent.
I will snatch their patent so that we will take over. And yes, we can do that. Yes, we can do that. Yes, we can do that. It's the question is, do you have the will to do it? I have the will to do it.
She's got the will, people. Watch out. How very communist of her. Now, back to CNN, and yes, they are among the Democrats' most enthusiastic propaganda outlets. Here they are telling the American people to forget about the high prices, the illegal immigration crisis, crime. Just feel the joy. There's so much joy.
Brian, go ahead.
I think Trump world is jealous of the joy right now. There's so much anger coming from Trump's speeches. Joy is real and it's important. People can make fun of it and say focus on the policy. But if you ask political scientists and psychology professors, they'll tell you the emotions matter in politics. Sometimes they matter a lot more than the policies. And that's, I think, the big story this week.
Yes, Brian. If you ask political scientists and psychology professors, they'll tell you emotions matter. The Nazis knew that too. They love the joy message. Theirs was strength.
I love our sarcasm.
And their propaganda arms were just as enthusiastic about gaslighting the nation. And talking about gaslighting the nation, here is our own national broadcaster, the taxpayer-funded outlet that receives more than $1 billion of Australian taxpayer money every single year. And just watch and marvel at this completely fair, balanced and not at all hysterical rant from one of the ABC's highest paid journalists.
But Donald Trump poisoned American politics in a new way. He's clearly taken America to a dark place. Do you also hold him responsible for the dark place that he took your family to with the terrible attack on your husband in your home?
Yep, that was Sarah Ferguson last week interviewing former Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi. The Trump derangement syndrome remains off the charts of the ABC, and Ferguson and her overpaid underworked team seem to have learnt nothing from their previous failures. Remember the three-part series we were treated to on the Trump-Russian collusion hoax? Yeah. They've learned nothing. Though Kamala refuses to do an interview, she did for just a minute answer a question without the benefit of an auto cue, and it did not go well. Here she is asked about how she plans to pay for these policies she's announcing. See if you can work out the phrase her advisors have clearly drilled into her head.
In terms of the tax credits, we know that there's a great return on investment. And when we increase home ownership in America, what that means in terms of increasing the tax base, not to mention property tax base, what that does to fund schools, again, return on investment. I think it's a mistake for any person who talks about public policy to not critically evaluate how you measure the return on investment.
Return on investment. In the full clip, she said it 4 times in about 40 seconds. It's like a kid cramming for an exam. Just keep repeating it until it sinks in.
This lady.
And the Democrats' National Convention has started and shops are boarded up, police are out in force. But the real lunacy is inside the venue. The Democrats have announced on their official Dem Convention TikTok page that these content creators will be present.
Jeffrey Marsh, Brian Bias,
Lindy Lee.
and I have some exciting news.
For the first time ever, the Democratic
National Convention
is credentialing content creators.
And guess what? Now I'm one of them.
in August. I'll be in
Chicago covering the convention inside
the United Center
and all over the city.
Oh, some familiar faces there. Let's have a look at a couple of these select podcasters, content creators the Democrats are promoting in their clip. This is Jeffrey Marsh. I'm sure you'll remember him.
Hi, love. Here are 3 ways to disrespect your elders. So if you're dealing with a narcissistic parent or a bullying boss at work, you need to 1, play innocent. Take it from someone who knows. They will only come after you when you are powerful. When you are triggering them and upsetting them, it is because of your power. And that's when they want to stop you. Is J.K. Rowling part of a global hate group? The United Nations said yes. What do taxidermists do for work? Stuff.
I don't even understand that last one. Taxidermy, what's he suggesting there? Out of the tens of thousands of content creators, that's who they want to have at the DNC. And I saw in that clip this duo.
The kicker for the Kansas City Chiefs, who has got to be the most sexist, white supremacist I have ever seen in my life. I forget that this type of person exists everywhere. And this is evangelical Christianity. What he said is so disrespectful, to such a large portion of women, and it's so dismissive. I hope that he is canceled to hell and back, and I feel so sorry that his wife has to sleep with him.
Yeah, I'm glad I'm not in Chicago because I don't know how I'd cope with this sort of gaslighting. This next rant is pure chutzpah, pure projection, where you accuse your opponents of doing something you yourself are guilty of.
Donald Trump would be able to weaponize the Department of Justice to go after his political opponents. He could even turn the FBI into his own personal police force. That is not how it works in America. That's how it works in dictatorships.
Wow, wow, wow. That is weapon-grade chutzpah right there. And also at the convention, there are celebrities there and has-beens like Mark Hamill. Here he is at a DNC welcome party.
Force is strong with these delegates. And my message to MAGA, go force yourself, all right? Get out of here.
Well, that's a charming message for around half the country, Mark. Now, let's have a look at some of the charming lefties who are causing mayhem in Chicago. Here they yell racist abuse and get in the face of police officers trying to do their job.
I'm a white woman in between and then another white dude right there. That's how we do it. White power. That's my show. You get to gas in DC. Shame on you, kid. Our government is fucking genocide. Shame on you, kid. Your face is up, kid. You look up, kid. I hate you. Go home, get a real job. God, you're
What?
God, you are so.
Why the insult, man?
Get a job.
and I hope you have nightmares about the people in Chicago.
So there you have a woman telling a cop she hopes he has nightmares while what looks like a dude pretending to be a woman in a keffiyeh, don't try that in Gaza, tells the police officer to get a real job and calls him pathetic and a bunch of other stuff I can't repeat here. That's lefties losing it. You might remember the Republican National Convention started with a prayer for Israel and the hostages. The DNC, the Democrats' National Convention, began with a land acknowledgement, and we also had this.
My name
My name in the Ojibwe language is Gigi Wewadam Ukwe, or in English, speaks with a clear and loud voice woman. I'm a member of the White Earth Nation, and my family is the Wolf Clan. And the role of our clan is to ensure that we never leave anyone behind. That's why I am supporting Kamala Harris and Tim Walz to be the next president and vice president of the United States.
That was Peggy Flanagan, the Minnesota Lieutenant Governor. And the DNC lunacy has really kicked into gear. We've even got NBA coach Steve Kerr, you know, take a knee Kerr. He was there and he had a message for Donald Trump.
In the words of the great Steph Curry, we can tell Donald Trump, night, night.
No. The Warriors coach had a lot more to say than just that. He spoke about why he was there, making a fool of himself, why he backs the Democrats. He explained what he looks for in a leader.
I believe that leaders must display dignity. I believe that leaders must tell the truth.
Got it. Dignity and truth. Let's get a dose of that with the leader that Steve Kerr backs right now, Joe Biden, who spoke sometime after Kerr. It was way past his bedtime, and it was a manic, incoherent rant. He told women they had no electrical or electoral power. Try to figure this out.
Women are not without electoral or political power. No kidding.
No kidding. But let's just get back to that dignity thing Steve Kerr was talking about, dignity and truth. And here we see that sort of glorious entity of Biden repeating verifiable lies to sow racial division. And in doing so, he even invoked the name of his dead son. It's not very dignified in my book.
And chanting the same exact anti-Semitic bile that was heard in Germany in the early 30s. Neo-Nazis, white supremacists, the Ku Klux Klan. When the president was asked what he thought had happened, Donald Trump said, and I quote, "There are very fine people on both sides. My God." That's what he said. That is what he said and what he meant. That's when I realized, had to listen to the admonition of my dead son, I could not stay in the sidelines. So I ran.
So dignified, so truthful, so full of joy. That demented diatribe was, of course, devoid of fact. We told you that years ago. It's all on video. The fine people hoax is just that. Trump did condemn the neo-Nazis and racists unequivocally.
And you had people, and I'm not talking about the neo-Nazis and the white nationalists, because they should be condemned totally. But you had many people in that group other than neo-Nazis and white nationalists, okay? And the press has treated them absolutely unfairly.
And yet, years later, the Democrats from Joe Biden down continue to push that dangerous, divisive lie, even after President Trump was almost assassinated. It's beyond despicable. But Steve Kerr thinks it's dignified and full of truth and unity. Now, old Joe also seemed confused because he credited himself, and particularly Kamala, for reopening schools during the pandemic.
During the pandemic, Kamala and I helped states and cities get back their schools back open.
Kamala helped get the schools back open? Really? Do the Democrats think we have forgotten they ran attack ads against Donald Trump for wanting to reopen schools? Remember this?
Desperate to reopen schools because he thinks it will save his re-election.
We have to open the schools.
Critical shortage of PPE.
Threatening their funding.
When they don't open their schools, we're not going to fund them.
Ignoring how the virus spreads, risking teachers' and parents' lives, going against the advice of experts.
It's had very little impact on young people.
Trump was 100% right there. The virus had very little impact on young, healthy kids, and schools should have never been closed. And that was only one of the many, many verifiable lies uttered on the DNC stage by Biden and others. Indeed, the whole thing seemed to be less about Kamala and Walz and the Democrats' vision, and really all about Trump, Trump, Trump.
Trump, Donald Trump,
Donald Trump,
Donald Trump, Donald Trump,
Donald Trump,
Donald Trump,
Donald Trump,
Donald Trump,
Donald Trump, Donald Trump,
Donald Trump,
Donald Trump.
Trump,
Trump.
Who in the hell does he think he is? Who does he think he is?
Indeed, there was very little said at the DNC about the big issues facing the country. Throughout the day, there was only 3 mentions of inflation, only 8 of the border, 6 mentions of crime, but more than 140 mentions of Donald Trump. They seem a tad obsessed. Let's have a look at some of the insanity on the streets of Chicago from anti-American lefties. Watch here as a lone man tries to stop the American flag being set alight as masked maniacs scream in his face.
Free, Palestine! Free, not on glory, not on glory. There we go. Yeah! Yeah! Hey, burn the American flag. It's our country. It's our country. It's the American flag. Burn it down. Burn it down. No, you guys are the enemy. Don't burn.
They did burn the flag. They don't just hate Trump and conservatives. They hate Israel. They hate America. They hate Western civilization. But at least they're open about their far-left lunacy. Inside the DNC, they're trying to pretend they're just like the rest of the country. They're even playing country music. But the only thing that really unites these people is a hatred of their political opponents. Watch as this trans activist is given the mic to announce the New Jersey delegates are backing Kamala, but instead he goes on some pronoun-announcing anti-Trump rant instead.
My name is Dr. Joey Perella, pronouns she, her, hers. I'm a proud resident of the Garden State. I'm proud to stand with Kamala Harris and Tim Walz because they stand with the LGBTQ community. It's time to turn the page on Trump. Thank you.
Dude, you had one job. It wasn't that.
One job.
Let's look at the sort of projection and hypocrisy
She just said, dude.
DNC provides, and it'll take your breath away. Let's start with former First Lady Michelle Obama talking about the Republicans being against children. But really, she's talking here about Republicans being against children who are being transitioned with dangerous, irreversible treatments.
Demonizing our children for being who they are and loving who they love. Look, that doesn't make anybody's life better.
And here Michelle talks about how bad greed is, how you should be suspicious of those who want more than their share. But thanks to Daily Wire for reminding us of the wealth Michelle and Barack have accumulated.
She and my father didn't aspire to be wealthy. In fact, they were suspicious of folks who took more than they needed.
Ew.
She paid more than $1,000 for those shoes. I'd pay that much never to see them again. They're awful. But while they're pretending to be all about joy and positivity, Barack and Michelle Obama did again push the politics of envy, grievance, racial division. And to top it off, we had the entire DNC chanting for the political class to do something. Do something. The Democrats are in power. The Biden-Harris administration is running the show. Do they forget that? Indeed, the Democrats have been in power for 12 of the last 16 years, and yet they decry the state of the country, the division, the economy. It's all on them. But the media has their new talking point, and the word of the day is electric.
And it was though someone had plugged in a cable, a current was connected, and there was pure electricity in the room.
Thank you for sharing with us some of the electricity.
The energy is incredibly electric.
You know, it was just electric.
As sort of electric as I've ever seen it.
Electric.
It was absolutely electric.
Talk to me about the atmosphere in here. Is it electric?
Excitement, it is electric.
Senator Schumer wasn't lying when he was saying that there's a lot of electricity and excitement right now.
So it's incredibly electric here.
It's electric. Something just got uncorked.
Room in Chicago, quite electric tonight.
Last night was electric.
It'll be electric.
Electrifying.
The electrification.
There's electricity in this room.
That
Too
is
much electricity.
To Van
Too much
Jones on
electricity.
CNN, almost crying after hearing the Obamas speak. Dude, get a grip.
I didn't know how much I missed them. I missed them. I missed that. I miss hearing that. This was a masterful act of leadership. It was a sacred task. They took it on well. It was like an oasis. I didn't realize I had been in a spiritual desert until they created that oasis on that stage, and they did a beautiful job tonight.
Oh, my. Dude, you need those around you to tell you to stop talking, seriously. Now, it's just a shame CNN didn't interview this next guy. The BBC did, but I don't think they knew that he was actually a conservative mocking the lefties losing it.
What brought you out here today? No, listen, my name is Noah Shorts. I use he, they pronouns. Like, I'm just really excited that we have, like, the first black woman that could be the president of the United States. And, you know, like, my wife, right, we're in a polyamorous relationship. The lover that my wife took is African American, and, like, I've learned so much about the struggle that people of color go through as a result of my wife's boyfriend. And so I'm excited to really do my part to show solidarity for my marginalized communities. And, like, the best way to do that is to get the first woman of color to be the commander-in-chief. And I'm really excited. I'm so pumped.
And let's end lefties with Hollywood has-been and DNC fanboy Mark Hamill. He has a message for the nation, and get ready to cringe hard.
Well, in the movies, I fought against make-believe evil. But we're at a time in our history where we're fighting against real evil. So I beg you, please, don't go to the orange side.
That's it from me. I'll see you Sunday morning for Outsiders. Good night.
Hey. This was literally a lot. Like a whole lot. Now I see why this show is losing it. No, watching clips like this, you begin to wonder if there are any rational lefties out there. All I could see was a lot of hatred for Donald Trump. A lot of repetition of laws they really don't understand. And a lot of hatred for the country. I mean, why would you burn a country's flag? Any country at all. Why would you burn your country's flag? That's disrespect in the highest order. I mean, I believe those people should have been without their masks so that everyone could see their faces if they weren't scared to do that. And why would you harass a cop? I mean, you shouting at a policeman to go get a real job, and you're outside there protesting. I wonder who has a real job between you both. Man, this was a lot. Most of it was hilarious because you just wonder how and why do people behave like this? Why do they behave the way they do? But guys, tell us what you think about this video in the comment section. Please leave a thumbs up at the end of this video. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe.